If you want a job in tech sales, you will face obstacles along the way, right? There's common obstacles that every candidate faces, from self-doubt to not knowing how to get the job to not knowing what they would actually be doing on the job to just simply getting rejected by companies or not knowing what companies to actually apply to. I broke into tech sales for the first time in 2018, right out of college, landed an entry-level SDR job with absolutely no sales experience. Fast forward to 2024, this year, I broke back into software sales. I had been out of the game for over a year in a different industry, doing different work. So I had real concerns and issues finding my way back into this amazing career that is tech sales. And I was able to get a job at a leading software startup as an account executive. So in today's video, I'm going to talk to you about the 5 reasons why people fail to break into tech sales when they have decided, hey, this is the career I want. I want to make more money. I know that this will provide me and my family the lifestyle flexibility, being able to work from home. Once you decide this is what you want and you've committed to it and you're on that path, not everyone makes it, but I believe everyone can make it. So I'm going to talk about the reasons why people don't make it, in my experience having done it and having helped thousands of people do it, and then how to actually get the job. And I'm going to sprinkle in insights along the way because I get dozens of comments on these videos and on my LinkedIn messages because I have 44,000 followers over there, and of course have helped over 1,000 people land entry-level tech sales roles through Course Careers. So I know what works and what doesn't work. And the first of 5 reasons why people fail to break into tech sales is because they don't take action. They decide, this is what I want, and you're at this place where your current reality does not match your future expectations. And there's this gap between where you're at and where you want to be. In that gap is opportunity. That's where all of the growth comes. That's where all of the action and excitement comes, and that is what separates the people who go from not having the job to actually getting the job, who go from being a mural painter like Jedi, who I just interviewed, and I'll link that interview down below, literally living in Costa Rica, I think it was, painting murals, met a guy in tech, making like 70 grand a year. The guy didn't have a degree or had never done sales before. So he's like, okay, well, this guy looks like me. He's cool. I think I could do this too. And then literally within a few months, Jedi was able to then get into tech sales and was on track to make $100,000 his very first year. His family's so incredibly proud of him, and it's transformative. And you could just see him in the office beaming with excitement and passion for what's ahead, and being able to go from not being able to buy all the groceries, or if a car breaks down, big issue, to now a lot less worried about money. And the reason he was able to close that gap between not having any experience, not knowing what's going on, to actually getting this job to be able to make that amount of money is because he took action. I can't tell you how many people reach out to me and they say, hey, I live in Nigeria. Can I get a US job in tech sales? Or, hey, I'm willing to do whatever it takes. What do I got to do? And then all of a sudden they're all excited one day, and then the next afternoon, Tuesday afternoon, they're just not taking any action. They're watching TikTok videos again. They're distracting themselves with whatever leisure activities they like to do. Action expresses priority. So if you decide, I want to get this job, you must identify what are the actions, what are the inputs I can take that will increase my likelihood of achieving this outcome. So for example, when I decided earlier this year, I am fully committed to getting back into tech sales, I started to make a list of companies that I wanted to work for. And I made a list of 24 top software companies in 2024 after extensive hours and hours and hours of research. You don't just make a list one day and that's it. It's an ongoing process. You take action constantly, every single day. Let me find companies. Let me apply to jobs at those companies. Do I have any connections at these companies? Let me reach out to people on LinkedIn. Let me put together a video talking about why they should give me an interview and send it to all the leaders in sales. These are actions that most people are unable or unwilling to take, most people are able to go on an auto quick apply and they wonder why they get no results. It's because they're not willing to go the extra mile and they're not willing to actually take action. I offered a coaching course earlier this year where it was an intimate 10-person weekly cohort. People paid, it was either $500 or $800 to participate in this multi-week program. Everyone showed up week 1. One less person showed up week 2. 2 less people showed up by the 3rd week. And then all of a sudden, halfway in, half the people who paid, registered, who expressed their commitments and their goals already stopped showing up because they quit and they decided to stop putting in action. This is what most people get wrong, is they simply just do not take action. Because if you keep showing up and do the inputs, do what you got to do, it's going to increase your likelihood of landing the job no matter what you look like, what your name is, what background you come from, who you know. The action will solve everything. The second of 5 reasons why people fail to break into tech sales is because they doubt themselves. And before they're even able to take action, this is one of the reasons why they don't take action, is because they simply doubt themselves. They see this person on YouTube that looks like them, that says, hey, I was able to go from nothing to getting in tech sales, and it's exciting. It gives you some dopamine. You're like, okay, I'm going to do that too. And then all of a sudden, the video stops. You're on your own. You're in your own head again, and your mind starts to play tricks on you, and you start to conceive these narratives based on your past experiences or your insecurities or doubts, and you say, I've been out of tech sales for 450 days now. Who is ever going to hire me? The way I ended my previous software sales job, that's probably going to hurt my marketability. And for those of you who know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. And I'll give you a tangible story about doubt and how it actually resulted in my failure back in 2018. I was in college. I was attending our career fair. I knew I wanted to get a sales job in a city outside of Ohio. I didn't have any idea what tech was. Now I know, and that's why part of the reason why I make these videos, because it's definitely the best career path. I got flown out to Boston to interview with Dell EMC. At the time, I thought, wow, this is the golden ticket. If I can get this job, I'm going to be set. I'm going to have the status, the career prestige, making all this money. Everyone's going to think I'm great. They fly me out. I'm at this career day, and there's probably 30, 40 other people in the waiting room that are from even more prestigious universities that seem to be in better shape, that seem to know each other. And then all of a sudden, I'm sitting there scratching my head, starting to doubt myself, thinking, I'm from Ohio University. I got a terrible score on my ACT. I have no internships, no past experiences, no connections. What am I doing here? And I started to doubt myself. And this resulted in me overcompensating in the interview process. And when they say be yourself, that's really important, because I was not being myself. I was trying to be some version other than who I actually was. And this resulted in me having a terrible showing to the interviewers and them saying, you're not a good fit. I never got the job because I doubted myself. In hindsight, it's easy to analyze that and learn from it and grow it. But no matter what you're going through, no matter where you're at in life, you're going to continue to experience doubt. Even when you get the job, you will experience new doubts. And then whenever you promote from an SDR to an AE, you will have new doubts. The state of life in which you have no problems will never arise. So whatever those obstacles or doubts that you have in front of you right now that are preventing you from taking the action to get the job, write them down, reflect on them, and ask yourself, what is the worst case scenario? Is this rational, the way I'm thinking? And those are a few different ways to help you get past the doubts, because if you do not believe in yourself, why should anyone else believe in you? I believe in you to hit the like button on this video below because it helps the channel. The third reason why people fail to break into tech sales is because they lack the knowledge to get the job, and more importantly, they lack the knowledge of what they actually will be doing on the job. You've decided, I want to break into tech sales. What is my entry-level path? SDR or BDR, right? sales development rep, business development rep. If I were to ask you right now, pause the video and get out a sheet of paper and write down, what is a day in the life of an SDR? What will you be doing? How is your incentive structure plan? Meaning, what does success look like? What activities contribute to the success? Cold calling, cold email, and generating pipelines, setting up meetings, understanding the terminology. What is marketing? What is inbound? What is outbound? Understanding the different software sales, tech sales terminology. Most people have no idea what the answer to these questions are. So that when they're on the interview and they're asked, so why do you want the job? Or they're going up against 50 other candidates who are just as qualified or equally unqualified, how are you going to stand out? And if you're not able to articulate why they should hire you and how you will be a great fit for the role, how are you ever supposed to get the role? Just because you want the role does not mean you deserve to get the role. And this is one of the biggest blockers people have, especially if they've never sold before or especially if they've never worked in tech. They have the capability to close this gap, but it just comes down to being willing to invest in yourself. I have so many legal pads behind me of notes I take of me learning my product of the software sales job I started in, because the good ones know more. And if you want to separate yourself to get the job and to stand out and actually be able to access top tier companies, you need to know what you would be doing. You need to know why they should hire you. And that knowledge gap is the difference between going from wanting it and actually getting it. And that is the reason why I am the instructor at Course Careers. And we put together the most in-depth course, taking people from square one, knowing nothing, to landing the job in less than 3 months with no experience, no prior connections. We teach you everything you need to know. We've helped over 1,000 people land entry-level SDR, BDR jobs. You can check out the free tech sales intro course linked in my description below so that you can learn everything you need to know from a knowledge standpoint, day-to-day standpoint, to stand out in the interview process and increase your chances of getting the job. The fourth reason why people fail to get a tech sales job is because they don't have any connections or any social proof. I am reading Influence by Robert Cialdini because I'm constantly up-leveling and sharpening my saw per se. And one of the drivers of influence to gain compliance from other people is social proof. So that when you click on the Course Careers website, you're going to see hundreds of testimonials and all these folks that have gone from nothing to getting the job, because it's true and it's real validation. And when people see other people doing it or acknowledgement from other people, that really matters. So that when you are applying to get the job and you don't even have a LinkedIn profile created or 500 plus connections or a good profile picture or a background or a profile structured in a way, or maybe recommendations, how are you supposed to get the job when you have no connections or you have not done any of the work to build any sort of social proof? Of all of the successful course career graduates that I speak with that end up landing the job, a common theme they have is that they have put some time into building a LinkedIn profile. And if you're new to LinkedIn or you have it and you've never put time into it, all you really got to do is get a nice looking profile picture, your LinkedIn channel art banner, something simple. Tagline says, seeking SDR role. Not some crazy young motivated hustler wanting blah, 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 high ticket. Avoid all that. A very basic about section, and then any of your past accomplishments or experiences. And then you want at least 500 connections. And LinkedIn is what helps people get hired in 2024. I really believe that the LinkedIn profile is the new resume. I've spoken with recruiters at companies I've worked at, and I say, how do you decide who to give an interview to? And they say, well, we look at the resume, of course, but we also look at their LinkedIn profile. So if you do not have an optimized profile, it is going to hurt you. And as you are learning the information you need, as you are taking action, as you are overcoming self-doubt, you want to be connecting with people that are at these companies you want to work for. So go connect with SDRs at the company you want to work for. Go connect with hiring managers and recruiters at the companies you want to work for. Go connect with sales managers and sales leaders at the companies you want to work for. And you may be asking, well, why would they accept my connection request? Or do I ask them for an interview, or what do I do? You do not just immediately come out and ask, what can they do for you? Consider, what can I do for them? Can I just simply connect with them and go like their post if they post? Or can I just send them a note and say, hey, thank you for accepting my request. Really incredible to see what you've been able to do with the company. It inspires me. Something like that, where you're not asking anything, but you're recognizing them or acknowledging them. That's really the lowest level of value you can offer. They're not just going to take time to meet with you, but start building these connections. Go connect with thought leaders and have this network of people so that when and if you start posting, it will increase your likelihood to get the job. But more importantly, when recruiters or hiring managers look at your profile, they're going to say, this person's legit. Let's at least give them a chance. The fifth and final reason why people fail to break into tech sales is because they allow adversities or setbacks to hold them back. When I was first applying to sales jobs in 2018, I got rejected like 6 times. And I thought, man, I'm going to have to work at Camping World. I guess I'll sell RVs for a living, because it didn't seem like anything else was going to happen. But I continued to show up. I continued to take action. I did not let doubt hold me back. I continued to show up wanting to give with no guarantee of return. And people message me and on LinkedIn and they say, Trent, I just keep applying. It's not working. I keep getting rejected. No one's going to give me a chance. What do I do? And I say, keep going. So, what do you expect? When you get in the job, you're going to face even more rejection. The skills required to get a sales job are the same skills you will use to succeed in the sales job. In 2024, when I decided I'm going to get back in software sales, I had about 5 years of SDR to AE experience, over $1 million in closed annual recurring revenue, a lot of connections, a big social presence, confidence, and actual skills. In light of all of this, I applied to 24 companies, as I told you. I was rejected more than 12 times. Think about that. Me. I was rejected before I even got an interview. I was rejected after I had the interview by a lot of companies, and they said, you're not good enough. You're not a good fit for us. And that is the reality of putting yourself out there, of applying for jobs, of striving for more in life. You will continue to face pushback and obstacles, but as you continue to show up and ask yourself, how can I go over the wall? How can I go through the wall? How can I go under the wall? Can I blow up the wall? Continue to get creative, persistent, and keep showing up. And I promise you, if you do not give up, that's what it takes to eventually get the job. In today's video, we covered the 5 reasons why people fail to break into tech sales, beginning with lack of action. Next, people doubt themselves. Third, people do not have the information and the knowledge they need to get the job. Fourth, they don't have any connections or social proof. And fifth, they allow adversities or setbacks to hold them back. So long as you do not allow one of these 5 reasons to hold you back, I fully believe you have what it takes, no matter where you come from, no matter what your name is, no matter what you look like. You don't need to be funny. You don't need to be the smartest. You can break into tech sales and change your life, just like tech sales changed my life. And if you're looking for more resources and a community and support, check out the free tech sales intro course by Course Careers that I made, linked in the description below. Bye.